where we have been having fun all month long talking about detoxing and cleansing. It's the ultimate 21-day detox. And right now you have an opportunity to take a nice little vacation from feeling bad. And Dr. Chapa is going to be sharing all about that. It's 2021. We're going to kick it on the FM and have some fun. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. It's Kickstart. My name is Gardy. I have Dr. Aaron Chapa with Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center located in beautiful League City, Texas, here in studio. Good morning, Dr. Chapa. How you doing today?
Oh, Gardy, I'm doing great. I always love it when you say that I have my good friend. I love being a good friend. I hope I am a good friend. And I'm so glad to be on the show. I'm excited to see what might flow this morning, what the Lord has for you, what the Lord has for me, and all of you guys that are listening. I'm excited to grow in the journey of health and wellness with everybody. I mean, there's so many approaches to getting healthy. What works for you might not work for me. What works for me might not work for somebody else. So we always find ways, workarounds, if you will, to build a program that is custom to you, your body, and the needs that you have. And at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, we love the game of learning. We love teaching and growing with our patients and helping them find what works, because there's different seasons of life where something used to work and now it's not working. We got to tweak it a little bit, and we don't ever want people to get stuck in a rut thinking that the same old, adage will apply, because sometimes that's not true. We have to evolve with what's going on in your life. You might have more stresses, you might have new stresses, you might have some unfortunate tragedies or events, you might have legitimate exposure. I had this one patient that was driving home from Arkansas, and she was exposed to Freon leaking through the vents of her car, and it was Freon toxicity. It took us about a few months to clean that up, and that was an unexpected toxic burden her body had to deal with. And so we always roll with you through the life process. And I think that is a cool thing to know, that we're not just going to throw a cookie cutter program at you. We're going to build for you a health plan that we believe will help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So if you're struggling with health symptoms that you were not genetically born with, things like headaches or skin rashes or allergies or blood pressure or cholesterol or joint pain or can't sleep or just emotionally unrested, I want you to be encouraged today to tune in, to listen, to chime in and ask good questions, and ask your questions for a friend, of course, if you don't want to expose yourself, and let us see if we can just offer some insight. And I think that's a fun thing that Living Well offers.
So tonight, I think there is a detox meetup, the final one. Who's invited and where is it?
The final one. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it's already. I mean, this has been a fast detox month for us. Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, for the last several years, I think almost 5 years that we've been doing mega events, if you will, but for the last 17 years, we've been doing a annual detox event. And I've been really working at, pushing people to go through a 21-day vacation from stress and stimulants and junk food and processed food and garbage foods, what we call the crap food. That's the excessive amounts of carbohydrate, the excessive amounts of refined sugars, the excessive amounts of additives, alcohol, and or processed food. So we take these things out of the diet, and we've been teaching these weekly classes every Tuesday at Butler's Courtyard in League City, Texas. And tonight is our final hoorah. It is at 6:30 p.m. We're going to have a potluck, so everybody's going to be bringing their favorite detox dish, and we're going to all share each other's recipes, and we're going to have a lot of fun at this meetup. So we definitely encourage you guys to come. We're going to have vendors there. We're going to have a teaching on what you're getting out of the detox and the impact that it's having on your life and those around you. And so at 6:30 p.m. at Butler's Courtyard here in League City, Texas, we are going to have our final event. We definitely want you to take advantage of that final event. We've got our water company there. We've got our good friends Main Squeeze and their juice company there. We have our soap lady that's got healthy soaps. We've got essential oils. We've got stats. We've got our heart sound recorder. We've got good food, good community, and good teaching. We're going to be teaching a program to help you live better, be better, and stay better, and to integrate this stuff into your health, because a lot of times people just need to know that detox isn't a one-time deal, Gardy. I mean, most people don't realize it, but it's an ongoing process. And I think that when we start realizing that we've got to maintenance and care for our body, we got to rotate the tires, we got to do the oil changes and change the air duct filters. We've got to do what is necessary to keep this earth suit moving forward in a positive way. And that's why I always, look for scripture and stuff to kind of like validate what we're working on. And the body makes many a reference to the body as a temple, and the temple needs to be cared for and nourished, and not to be defiled. And obviously some of these words can go down certain rabbit holes, but I kind of keep it into this idea of let's control what we can. Let's honor God with this vessel that He's given us to breathe with, live with, be with other people with, and serve with. And let's go, then we'll pull some, external and little mater from cars. And, even though it gets a little dented up, we're not trying to take all your dents out. We know that you're going to turn that baby back in, broken and beat up and worn out. And that's what you want, except you just don't want it to wear out while you're still using it. We want you to finish the call that has been put on your life. We want you to be able to be energized and revitalized and nourished to the fullest all the days of your life, however many days that God has on your head. And so to maximize those days and to enhance those days comes through your willingness to learn how to care for this earth suit, or let us teach you how to care for this earth suit so that you can manage the aging process more gracefully. And people that accept, that they get excited because they can control it more than people that just let life beat them up.
There's something that you always talk about. It's the case of the suddenlies. You're in your 20s, you can do some stuff, and then you turn 30, then you get 40, 50, somewhere along the line, you get a case of the suddenlies. What is that? And maybe someone listening right now will say, hey, that sounds like me.
Well, let me just explain the case of the suddenlies. You walk out to your car, in the holiday season, it's wet and rainy, you get in, and you're like, whew, I barely made it, and you go to turn the key, and boom, battery's dead. That's no fun. That's that uncomfortable, really, this is happening right now? Well, it's no different in the body. You wake up today and life is great, and then all of a sudden, 6 weeks from now, 6 months from now, boom, you get heart disease, or you have high blood pressure, or you have a sleep issue, or you start getting emotionally depressed, or you start finding your head starts hurting, your body starts giving you symptom patterns, what we call, that you haven't been genetically born with, and it comes out of nowhere. But people don't realize that it probably didn't come out of nowhere. It was steadily, subtly sneaking up on you in the shadows. And then all of a sudden your body was managing these things to the best of its ability and keeping those symptoms at bay. And then suddenly, boom, a symptom arises. And that symptom is now uncomfortable. It's got your attention, and you start worrying because you're not, where did this come from? The case of the suddenlies, when it trips you like that and runs your head in the ground, it's a little bit uncomfortable. It's a little bit worrisome. So now you've got a new burden to carry is, what's the severity of this? Am I going to have to live like this forever? Anybody that can vouch for me on this, if you've ever had an amount of pain in your body, like a neck pain or back pain, it's a little scary at times. You go, oh my gosh, is this going to be like a permanent deal for me? And it can be scary when the unknown, the fear of the unknown is a real deal. And when things come on suddenly, you think the ball is rolling really fast down the hill when really it just manifested. So it's no worse than it was yesterday. It's just it snuck up on you slowly because your body was doing the best it could to manage it, and then just finally, oops, I can't manage it. I got to give you the check engine light. And that check engine light is what we want you to see as the suddenlies that seem to be is just a cry of your body that says, hey, I need some external help. I need you to be more attentive manually to the processes going on inside this little vessel so that I can get back to doing it on my own without your voluntary attention. And so people start reaching out and looking for answers, and the world as we know it today has trained people a pill for an ill. And a pill for an ill is this idea that, hey, you got a headache, take some Tylenol. We just heard a story this morning, didn't we, about somebody that suffers and struggles with migraines, and they take Tylenol like candy was the description. Oof, that makes me nervous, because or ibuprofen, I believe it was, and those are known non-steroidal drugs that can destroy and will destroy your kidneys, will distress and cause a plague to come over your liver. I mean, it accelerates the aging process. So instead of being in what we call a graceful aging process, now we're in this accelerated aging process where more suddenlies start kicking you in the pants. And we don't want you to get kicked in the pants, Gardy.
I don't want to get kicked in the pants.
I don't really want to get kicked at all, but you know what I mean? Especially don't want to get kicked in the pants.
Not the pants.
Yeah, I mean, leave the pants out of it, you know? I mean, geez. But at the end of the day, those are the wake-up calls that oftentimes drive people to be looking for answers. So we want to get people to stop reaching for the drugs, the over-the-counters, or the hardcore pharmaceutics that your medical doctor might provide, and start looking for non-drug alternatives, non-surgical alternatives. And that's what Living Well Clinical Nutrition stands for. We have a vision of getting sick people well without drugs, without surgery, and giving people tools to help mobilize and move their health forward. And oftentimes it just comes to keeping people accountable to their own plan. You know, if you know that eating certain foods causes inflammation in your body, guess what?
Eliminate those foods.
Eliminate those foods. Mm-hmm. But sometimes those foods are the very thing that your body craves. And that's really unfortunate, because the very thing that you're craving is absolutely destroying your health.
So the detox is 21 days, and you're taking a vacation from some of those foods. What have you seen in the past? When people eliminate those, do they find out like new things, or do they lose weight? Do they feel better, feel worse? What do they do?
So people go through all kinds of phases of learning what their body is and isn't. And so when they start a detox program, sometimes they get a little nauseous, sometimes they get a little headachy, sometimes they actually even have potentially a little bit of a rash. But then all of a sudden, boom, they just barrel straight through that process, and then the next thing pops up. They get more energy, more clarity, more. They start having more productivity out of their days. They start making comments to me like they feel like they walked out of a cloud. They feel like, you know, they have less pain in their body, less headaches, less belly issues. They start losing weight, and their energy continues to go up, up, and up. And they start saying, can I live this way? I mean, is this like a possibility? And I'm like, of course you can live this way. And over the seasons of life, watching patients and myself go through this process, 42 times I've been on a 21-day detox. And we have tweaked it and modified it. We can tweak it and modify it. You know, just a quick shout out. I'm so proud of my kids, because, you know, as parents, you know, especially in my home, I have a expectation that they would participate in some of these crazy antics that I like to go through myself. But I don't necessarily force them to do it, right? Because I'm not with them all day. And I've found that a person convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So I don't want to force their hand. I want to train them and teach them and model before them how to live well, be well, and stay well. And my 4-year-old, who will be 5 in February, comes in a week and a half ago and goes, "Daddy, I'm going to do a 5-day detox." "Oh, are you?" And I said, okay. And so on day 2, we're at church, and she goes, "Daddy, can I have a cheat meal?" And I said, "No, you said you were doing a 5-day detox, and I'm going to hold you accountable." And she goes, "Please, can I do a cheat meal?" Those kolaches look so good. And, you know, because at church there's always donuts and kolaches and all kinds of stuff, and one of my pet peeves for sure, but whatever. And and so I helped her hold steady. And then she went another 3 days, and she would ask for some cheat meals here or there, but she was obedient to the program and asking and then getting an answer and then following through and not cheating herself. And she figured it out. She was so fired up on her 6th day when she got to eat, you know, food again, but she was excited that she goes, I did it. I made it the 5 days. And then my 9-year-old, who came in, and she started the detox a week early with one of her friends who is about 9 or 10, and she was like, so she's finished now, but she goes, I made it to the end. I'm so proud of, like, she was proud of herself, right? Like, that's an accomplishment to go off of grains for 21 days. It's an accomplishment to go off of protein for 20, you know, the kids, we let the protein stay. But for them to figure out new foods, she enjoyed artichoke, she enjoyed asparagus, she enjoyed, you know, some different foods that she would normally kind of turn her nose up to. You know, she still liked she didn't like the sweet potatoes. I don't know why. I think they're delish, but she goes, "Oh, I don't like how they taste in my mouth," whatever. But we just get her to try it anyway, and maybe next year she'll like them, you know, or in 6 months she'll like them. But what this does is it changes your mindset. And people go, well, you're forcing your kids. No, I'm not. I'm teaching my kids to not be led by their palate, right? To not be led by the pleasure of their tongue. The Bible says constantly that the tongue is one of our roots of evil, And we just think it's about voice and words and things we speak. But, man, what about through gluttony? Through just the I need, I want, I crave. That I need, I want, I crave may not be anything more than your taste buds just going, please, can I have a cheat meal? And it's just crying out like a little devil on your shoulder, trying to entice you and trying to trip you.
So that your daughter's voice, when you do that, sounds a lot like the voice in my head when
I knew it did. I knew this is relatable.
Please, can I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Well,
yeah, sure, yeah.
He's so, yeah.
and I think we all battle that voice. I mean, myself included. But what happens is the more you're able to put yourself into the 21-day detox experience and say no for 21 days. Say no for 10 days if that's all you can make it. Say no for 7 days if that's all you can go. Every little bit of training your body is developing your mind's willpower, your bulldog grit that won't quit to get to the next level, because it may take you going to the next level and your thinking. And I think I see a lot of people's thinking around food change, and they get excited because they start realizing, I can do this. Mm-hmm. Well, of course you can. The Bible says you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, But oftentimes when you can accomplish something, you get a little excited that, man, I went off of Coke for 21 days. I went off of alcohol for 21 days. I went off of sugar for 21 days. I went off of processed food and junk food for 21 days. I started looking at labels and started realizing how much junk is in my pantry. I started looking at the processed food and all the labels and I learned how to read a label. I mean, people don't realize that, if you have a food in your house that has a label on it, oftentimes it's got a bunch of fillers and preservatives and chemicals and byproducts that don't need to be in there, food dyes and chemicals that are preserving its shelf life, but wind up actually being a burden to your liver, your kidneys, irritating to your bowels, and potentially causing the whole body as a whole metabolically to slow down, and you kind of crash. Mm-hmm. And so we don't want your body to go into the crash cycle. We want to pull you out of that crash cycle, reset your sail, let you catch a new drift and go down a different path so that you're not living life on the shallows. You're living life in the adventurous deep waters, enjoying God's country, enjoying the crisp air on your face and the new life that you can have without sickness, without disease tied up in your body. And that is a really exciting thought. And I think people learn those things going through the 21-day ultimate detox experience with Living Well.
So we are streaming on social media. We're live on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook right now, thank you. Hit the share button. Share this into a group, a talk group, anywhere on there. If you're listening on 99.5 FM, call and text a friend. Tell them to tune in. They can listen to the KHEA Radio app or KHEARadio.com. There is a comment from Molly. Shout out to Molly and all of the staff and crew that works at Living Well. Appreciate you guys and everything that y'all do. She said, Gardy, asked Dr. Chapa to talk about the artichokes we had the other day. What was going on with some artichokes, Dr. Chapa?
Oh, we discovered that you can put artichokes in an Instapot and cook them a little faster. But, man, it was really fun. We had 3 artichokes that I found. Didn't realize there was 2 more hiding in the refrigerator until after I'd cooked them. And man, I mean, the kids were like fighting over them. I mean, Molly and I really didn't even get any of what we were hoping to get, and it was a race to the heart of the artichoke. I mean, we're dipping it in the garlic butter, and the kids are over there harsh, and throwing the extras. I mean, I should have taken pictures, but it was like an artichoke massacre. I mean, we had these beautiful artichokes. They were cooked up beautiful. We had the butter, and then all of a sudden, they're like, it looked like a Tasmanian devil went through my kitchen, and there's like, artichoke leaves all over the plate like a mound, and the kids are like, I want more. And I'm like, I don't have any more. Molly's like nervous because she thought one of the kids was going to bite her arm off. And so I go back to the pantry or to the refrigerator, and I'm like, surely I got something else in here. So I'm looking, and I find 2 more artichokes. Well, thank gosh I could go to the Instapot and speed cook those things, and and it was pretty cool. We put a bunch of water in there, and then crank that thing on, and it did its magic in a short, timely manner, and the kids were back at it and finishing off the artichokes. And I think that's a cool thing. That was another thing that my kids go. My son, the day before, I think that was Friday, and the night before I was at a Bible study, and my son came along with me, And I don't know how we got talking about artichokes, but he goes, how come you never buy artichokes anymore? And I knew it was, 5 artichokes in my refrigerator. I said, how come you don't look in the refrigerator more often and find those artichokes that are there, buddy? Don't throw me under the bridge. And but anyway, it's fun to get your kids involved in the cooking process. When they see how it's done and you start enrolling them in new ideas, because a lot of people just don't eat some of these exotic foods because they don't know how to prepare them, because obviously you do have to, boil these artichokes. It's just too hard not to.
How about how to eat them?
And how to eat them, correct. I mean, you take the artichoke, people don't realize you got to dip it in the old leaf and then scrape it off the meat, and it's like seemingly a lot of work, but it makes food a little bit social and fun because it's a unique experience. I mean, you get to use your hands. There's no silverware with an artichoke. I mean, you get down and dirty with that stuff, And so yeah, we had a good time learning about artichokes and playing with artichokes and going back to the art of artichoking. How about that? That could be like
artichoking.
That could be like a new martial art move, like the art of artichoking.
Artichoke.
Yeah.
It works.
It works. I'm definitely in. Does anybody like artichoking? Have you ever artichoked? I mean, how many different ways can I use artichoke in a sentence today?
I can honestly say I don't know if I've ever eaten an artichoke before. And you can just, I guess I do have like an Instapot, so that would be my my go-to. I just throw it in there and be like, Dr. Chapa said, put in some butter and eat it. Eat the leaf. I don't know. Right?
Well, I will tell you that what you do is you don't want to eat the pointy side of the leaf.
Okay.
You want to eat the one closest to the middle, but you take that after it's been boiled, you dip it in garlic butter, and you just scrape the meat right off of the leaf, and you'll be like, wow. And then every layer you get closer to the heart, it gets softer, and more soft. And then you peel out. Once you get to the heart, there's this weird furry middle that you have to peel out, and once you peel that out, then you have this beautiful buttercup of goodness, and it is the artichoke heart. And you take that and you dip it in your garlic butter, and then you just start biting it. I always think of Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory when he's got this little yellow, I don't know what it was, off of a tree that he's got in his little chocolate factory, and he's over there like just kind of nibbling on the edges of it.
Yeah.
And that's how you work this artichoke heart, and it is so fun, it's so delightful, it is so rich in your mouth, and it is just full of goodness and energy, and I just totally love it. And so I think that, again, artichoking is a fun pastime.
Here's a comment from Amber Murphy with Butler's Courtyard, which is where the event is tonight, and you are invited. She said she's talking about her kids might have tasted things this detox they normally wouldn't even taste because they're helping mommy cook her detox food. How about you, Dr. Chapa? Is there something that you have had this detox that you had never had before?
No, I haven't had a ton of new adventurous foods this go-round, but I definitely feel like more than ever, I really just needed this detox. I did one in September, but for whatever reason, sometimes I don't know if it's the energy that all you guys are bringing. I don't know if it's the fun that we're having at the classes. But man, it has just been so good to just let the detox affect my digestion. I've felt the detox affect my digestion in such a positive way. This detox, unlike other detoxes in the past, and it's like I just was maybe a little bit. Digestively stressed in some capacity, maybe from just external stresses weighing me down, and then going through this detox, taking the pressure, the stress of digestion down has allowed my body as a whole to feel really, really young and vibrant and good. I feel strong, and my mind feels clear, and, my energy's like go time all the time until, the sun goes down, and then I start kind of crashing. But I get up early and I go to bed early. I'm definitely one of the early to bed, early to rise guys. And I just find that every time I detox, I do learn stuff new. And it's just, this detox would be, we still need to detox. I mean, even though I've done 42 detoxes. Remember, this is the golden year of detox for Living Well. This is 21 days, 21-day detox program that we put together. This is 2021. I mean, this is exciting. And we recommend people do 42 days a year of detox. And this is my 42nd detox. I can't believe I've made 42 different detox experiences run as a lifestyle practice, and it has been a great experience. I mean, I just have had a good time. Maybe this the golden year of detox, why this has been the most refreshing. I don't know, but the experience for me has just been a good one, and I've really enjoyed the journey and the energy at the classes last week was great. I hope you guys bring another, level up of energy tonight at Butler's Courtyard at 6:30. You definitely invited. It's a potluck, so if you've got a meal, bring it. If you don't, bring yourself and indulge. We want to just have fun, pack it out. Don't feel obligated, but just know that the idea is to share your favorite meal, what you've brought to the table. We had a new cookbook come out in our support group this season, and we know that people have enjoyed those, and I'm just excited for everybody that has been on that chat and going through the process and helping each other go through the detox experience. I'm proud of all you guys, and I truly am. You do not know what you're doing for your overall health, your overall vitality. It just gives me, excitement in my veins to know that you guys are seeing it. You're buying in to the realization that it is your life, it's your health, it's your choice. You've got to make these choices to live better, be better, and stay better one bite at a time. So I want to encourage you, if you've never been to Living Well's events, if you've never been to Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, come and visit us. Tonight's a good way to come out and meet all of us as we are in action and being there for our people and our tribe that God has given us to lead. And you will be blessed. You will be encouraged. You will be enlightened with new levels of information that can change you, your family, and your next generation. And I'm just excited to be a part of that with you and want to continue to be a voice of reason in your world.
So you mentioned that the 21-day detox is a reduction of, stress on your body, on the inside, and everything that you're doing. So there was a question that came in asking about inversion tables. Is there a benefit to hanging upside down? Because I could see how that could maybe relieve some stress. What's your thought on those?
Absolutely. I have an inversion table in my home. Well, actually, it's in my garage area because my wife won't let me put it in the house. And but 2 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. It doesn't take much. And so definitely a process. If you've got herniated disc, if you've got inflammation in your back and spine, the world as we are is a sedentary world in the U.S. And sitting is the new smoking. Being in this kind of seated posture for extended periods of time, which the average person is, they don't do enough upright movement. These joints, begin to collapse on themselves. They begin to compact. They begin to get inflamed. The muscles begin to get shortened. And then you go to stand up, move around, and you feel a little twinge or something that uncomfortable. And you guys know that if the dude don't move,
the dude don't groove.
Mm-hmm. So we always want to make sure that if you are not moving a lot, it's not good. I had a gentleman that is in his mid to lower 80s who has beaten cancer a couple times. It's a neighbor of mine that has been out walking 5 miles a day.
Wow.
And he does a couple 3 miles in the morning and then 2 in the evening, or vice versa. And if the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. And he's like, this walker, if I just didn't have this stinking walker. But he's also had hip replacements and knee replacements, and yet he's just finding no excuse and finding no reason to keep him from doing what he needs to do to keep those body parts moving. And the older we get, it is potentially a little harder, especially if nobody taught us how to do wellness care and maintenance care. And an inversion table can be just that. You can hang upside down, decompress that tissue, cause your body to kind of go into an inverted, like, what's going on here, and figure life out in an upside down fashion. And then you get back up and you go to town. And so just like rebounding, a little trampoline, a little bouncy bounce, you can do some amazing things for your lymphatics. So the movement is good. Finding yourself in these cool positions is good. I used, if you would have asked me when I was 26 years old if an inversion table was necessary, I'd said, no, man, I don't feel, because I didn't feel issues in my body. And that's one of the hardest things that anybody that works with people that are 10, 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years older than they are have a hard time in relatability. But being that I've been in practice enough time now, I have learned through the eyes of my patients, listening to my patients, working with our patients as Living Well does. That's what we train ourselves to be, better listeners and hear the stories. They will teach us what works and doesn't work and how to navigate and appreciate that. Man, laser therapy is powerful. Cryotherapy is powerful. Inversion tables are powerful. Massage is powerful. Acupuncture is powerful. Detox foot baths is necessary. Like there's the tools are amazing. PEMF mats, I believe. Dang it, I just lost it. Okay, it'll come back to me in a moment. But are frequency generators that help resonate the cells back to an ideal frequency. And the more we have negative energy coming at us, whether through bad food, bad fluids, bad air, bad energy from, just thinking, because you ever heard of, garbage in,
Garbage out.
Garbage out. So if your thinking is stinking, then you've got to change the game. You are a product, and we've talked about this on other, kind of first of the year videos, is if you are allowing voices of the music you listen to, the tapes the CDs you listen to,
or podcasts,
I guess today, whatever's coming into your head, whoever you're socializing with, will affect your thinking. And you've got to realize you are a product of your friends, and then things you listen to or let come in through your eyes and what you're reading. And so we want to make sure that you're getting the best, most up-to-date health information, because we don't want you to neglect this. Because those that neglect this find themselves in a quandary when the suddenlies occur, because they don't know where to start. It's too much work. They don't feel good enough to keep moving forward. So it's harder to kind of kick into gear and find your rhythm. So an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure. So putting yourself into a 21-day detox, we can modify it if you're a newbie and have never stepped foot in the kitchen before. I'm still shocked that there's people that hate and are scared of the kitchen. But it's okay. We want to teach you and train you. I've talked in the past about this guy that come in and he had overalls and he's just a good old boy, and he ate fried chicken and fried fish and burgers and fries, and his diet was fried. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he had lots of sugary drinks, and his health was not good. His body hurt. His blood pressure was high. His inflammation state was out of control. And inside of 6 months, we got him. And I didn't talk to him about dipping and tobacco, but he stopped dipping on his own. He got involved in yoga. He lost weight and lost inches and changed. His whole philosophy on life changed because we just started him on the journey and started giving him 1 degree of change. So no matter where you're at and what you're dealing with, 1 degree of change leads you down the road. And here's the best thing. Prevention is going to prevent things from happening, but sometimes getting started wherever you're at will also prepare you for what is coming down the unknown pike. Because just because you choose to live a life of wellness doesn't mean that you're absolved to diseases and stuff happening in your life, especially if you started when you're in your 50s. Does that make sense? And people always tell me, well, Chop, you're only 41 and you don't. I'm 51. I'm 58. I'm 62. Well, and my response immediately comes back as fast as they say the age number. I said, well, I got mentors that are 65 and 66 and 68 that take very good care of themselves, and they are the epitome of health, and they have mass amounts of energy, and they're the vitality movers and shakers that I aspire to look like when I'm 61, 65, 66. And so the reality is if we've got people that have already gone ahead of us, and one of them is 76, by the way, and he says, I'm going to be 120 full. He didn't say fully functional. That's mine. He says, I'm going to be dancing, and I want you with me. And his name is Russell Jaffe, a great dude, super, smart as a whip, and just fun to listen to these guys, figure stuff out. And I think some of it is experiential. They learn as they go. So at 26, I might not have said, oh, yeah, you could leverage those things. But because I've been a good listener and I've seen patients that followed through with the programs that we build, and that's one of the things that we tell people is if you'll stick with the program that we build for you long enough and you follow through with the recommendations to the best of your ability, you don't have to be perfect, just to the best of your ability, you will get better. Everybody does. It's like nutritional laws. And so you can leverage all kinds of secondary and tertiary modalities as long as you realize you'll never outrun a bad diet. It will catch you sooner or later. And, of course, there's always those people that they were all the way into their 90s, still eating ice cream and doing just fine. Hey, great. It's just 99.9% of the rest of us won't have that experience. We will suffer doing crazy things like that.
By the time you get 120, have you calculated how many detoxes you would have done? If you've done 4,
I haven't. Somebody that's better with math can figure that out. I figure I'll just see where we're at when we get there. Yeah. But I like the idea. So at this point, I'm pretty, it's pretty much a done deal that there'll be 2 a year happening in my world. And, it's going to be fun.
Okay, so now that the detox is almost over, right?
Yes.
It's like tomorrow?
This is our last week of detox. So the last day officially is the 31st. So day 1 of February is our end, if you will. But understand that people are detoxing. They started last week. They started yesterday because timing. We just, as a company, we have to have a start day and an end day. But we see that people start detoxing in January, people continue detoxing all through February, and even sometimes in the middle of March, and that's just because of timing.
And they could start today if they wanted.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And some people go, well, I don't have 21 days. How do I navigate that? I got these little micro windows. I have this one gal. She works over offshore, and so she's here and gone, here and gone. And I said, no problem. When you're here, I want you to do a 10-day, and then go off to work and eat clean, exercise, do your stuff the best you can, and then when you get back, we'll do a bowel cleanse. So we'll do another 5-day, but it'll be modified. But during that 10-day window, she's hyper focused on getting everything cleaned up, and she loves it, feels good, her body feels good. She's continuing to exercise and keep moving forward, and she just does 4 hardcore 10-day runs a year. That's 40 days. Mm-hmm. So I want 42. She's at 40. That's close enough. Again, it's not about being perfect. It's just, it's about the mindset of I'm going to choose to take my health by the horn and angle it where I need it to go.
Okay, so here's a math problem. The answer, I guess.
Okay, good. I'm glad it's an answer, not a math problem, because math problems make me nervous.
So it says Chapa at 120 years old will theoretically have done 200 detoxes, 200 deep.
Wow,
that's a goal.
I mean, that's pretty legit, and that's not, how exciting. I have to think about that number and go see, if that's the number I want. Maybe I'm going to have to bump it to, another number or something.
3 detoxes a year?
What would it take to push that if I needed to? Because see, what happens is when we start setting goals like that, it inspires Jennifer and Molly to try to catch me, and so they might be secretively doing a 3rd or 4th detox. So I'm gonna have to watch them like hawks now that we've calculated the number here.
Yes,
because the Lord knows we can't be outdone. It's definitely a race for me, and so I'm just kidding.
Okay,
but it is. But detoxing is more fun with friends, and competition is healthy, right?
Yeah. So here's a comment from Molly. She said 10-day detoxes are super fun, not gonna lie. And then I know Megan at your office, she did a 10-day detox because I was at an event with her, and I saw there was some food, and it was Chapa approved for the most part, but a little on the sweeter side. And I was trying to see if she was gonna eat it. And she had a taste. She had a taste or whatever. And I was like, oh, aren't you detox? She's like, I'm done. It was 10 days. I was like, okay, that's right. So I was wondering,
that's funny.
I guess, Molly, why is it fun? And have you seen, I guess, is that a good ease-in for people to start with?
Absolutely. I mean, and here's the thing is we when people come in, we listen to the story that they unfold before us. And we have had patients that were literally never know how going to do a 21-day detox. Not going to happen. And one of our friends, Michelle, she said, or Jennifer convinced Michelle to, hey, I know you're not interested in doing detox, but would you be willing to just come to the events that we have? And the events are, there's enough camaraderie and enough people doing the detox that you realize you're not really alone. So again, detoxing is more fun with friends, and good, healthy, influential peer pressure is good for us. And the tribe that Living Well has, that has been given by God, is always delightful and warm, welcoming to all people, doing detox or not. And what happens is the education began to just seep into her mind and her body and the possibilities. And here she is a year later doing a detox, and she's so excited. She did the gallbladder flush, did the apples, pears, and applesauce for 5 days, and then went right into a detox. And she is just working through her health journey. I have other patients that came back and said, this is my 6th or 7th one, and man, this is like the easiest one ever. I feel really great. I've got a couple people that, this is my 4th or 5th one, and man, I feel like it's worse. Like, what's going on with that? And that's your body reaching deeper, deeper, deeper into those cell structures that have been hiding toxins in the cellular matrix and opening up those channels and pulling that toxic load out and getting it out of the body. And they're feeling that exposure into the blood of those toxins that have to be reintroduced and processed as if they were just exposed today. They've just been locked up in a closet. So there's a little blood, sweat, and tears that have to be managed going through detox. It is a detox, guys. It's not like, I think what the fun Molly calls, I would think, and that I get out of it is the fun in knowing that you're learning how to take the bull by the horns, that you're not just letting life happen to you, you're taking control of what you're capable of controlling, and then you're doing it with people that also seem to be enjoying the journey. And with the support group and with everything that we've got put together for the detox, it is a no-brainer that you're going to have a good time going through the process. And then, as technology continues to unfold, we're going to be able to get better and better with our online setup. And I mean, this year has been kind of neat because we've had Zoom. Well, I guess this whole last year too, we've had a lot more forced Zooming action, but we've been able to keep the tentacles and the root system into education to the public through Zoom or through live events. And we've had a lot of live events last year and kept the game alive and kept reaching and teaching and helping and serving and leading people forward, because some people need that physical that physical piece. Some people are okay with the audio Zooming, and that's cool. We want to be able to serve everybody. But here's one thing you will miss out if you do not come tonight. You will not get access to the heart sound recorder, which is where we can measure the mitral, tricuspid, pulmonic, aortic valve. And it is a test that we do charge for in the office that is free this evening and we'll be able to use so we can help you guys learn more about your health. And then we'll have real food. You can't virtually eat the food that is going to be present tonight. I'm so sorry that I have not figured that out yet.
But imagine if you do.
I know, it'd be just like Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And Robin Williams we'd have a food fight.
Bangarang.
Yes, amen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that idea, but I don't think it's realistic as of yet.
Not in 2021.
At least not in 2021. Maybe somebody's going to be smart enough to figure that out. But at the end of the day, we want you to come out tonight, 6:30 p.m., enjoy the delicacies of potluck, detox-friendly, living well food, and food that will revitalize you and nourish you and strengthen you and give you a new gusto to forge ahead. And what you'll learn even tonight is additional practices, how to get off the detox. You'll learn how to navigate the realm of the carb food, refined food, additives food, processed food, living, and not fall back into the retox zone. We want to try to keep you into this cleansing and nourishing zone, not this retoxing zone where you're biting at the bit to go eat junk food and garbage food on day 22. We want to give your body a chance to maintain these good healthy practices. And I remember my first detox, I think the healthy practices lasted for me about two and a half months, meaning I didn't make bad choices because I felt so good I didn't want to go back. I literally felt so good mentally, emotionally. I did not want to go back to the way I was living before and potentially feeling what I felt. I lost weight. I felt great. And so I made good choices for another 2.5 months before I was like kind of worn, eroded, and challenged and tempted by garbage food. And I probably had a pizza or something. And then I noticed the next several detox about the same. And then all of a sudden, somewhere around the 4 or 6 mark, I noticed that the effects lasted an easy 4 or 5 months. And I started realizing that's about why I kind of came up with the whole 2 times a year of detox, because I can easily see people once they get around the 5th or 6th detox that the results will last them mentally, making good choices for up to 5-6 months. So that 5th month, they kind of start falling off the wagon a little bit. 6th month, they realize, I'm off track. What do? I detox. You get it? Detox.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody get it out.
Bless you, Chapa. Bless you. Oh, yes, thank you. I receive it. And Molly's rolling her eyes. Stop it, Molly. Stop it. I know how you guys are. And at the end of the day, here's the idea is then it's like a cinder block, right? If you throw a pebble in the water, it's just a baby ripple. If you throw a cinder block in the water, it's a big ripple, right? And so the detox is like a big ripple of health that will influence your sphere of health into all directions, into your personal life, your family's life, and your generational life, and you will see benefit, I assure you. I've got patients, that they didn't even realize what they were preventing themselves from or preparing themselves for. And I just can only help people see that, 50 years of doing it your way and making these lifestyle modifications doesn't absolve you again from never being sick or never having a health challenge. The reality, though, is you will find that you'll be more prepared for what's coming down the pike, 1. Or you will have a faster recovery, 2. Or you'll prevent and eradicate whatever you might have developed earlier. Because let's say it's a cancer, for example. Some of these cancers could take 15, 20 years to evolve and never be found. And then by the time they find it, it's not in a good space. But because you've been working at your health, what if you started whittling away at that cancer before it ever manifested into a stage 3 or stage 4 type situation? Or what if you were developing an autoimmune condition? I have a bunch of autoimmune rheumatoid arthritis patients and or thyroid patients and or skin patients. And by the time the body starts going autoimmune or cancerous, you've had that disease a long time. You've just been ignoring, or somebody's allowed you to slip through the medical cracks of symptomatology, and you haven't been cared for in a way that has created an environment where your body can process out the toxins and erode off the junk. Because disease is just like your body. It wants to thrive. It wants to live. The problem is disease, if it thrives too much, it will denature or bury you first. And so our goal is to bury it first, control it as much as possible, so that we age gracefully, feel great most and all of our life, fully functional spirit, mind, and body is my goal, 125, fully functional spirit, mind, and body. I don't want glitches. I don't want to be decrepit. I don't want to not be able to go for a walk. I don't want to be able to have to be so dependent on family or friends or a care program to keep me alive. I mean, if I'm at that point and I can't take care of myself anymore, Lord, take me home. I wore this thing out the best I could. And yeah, I know there's genes. I get all that. But at the end of the day, you are more in control of the expression of your gene code through your phenotypical expression, your epigenetic responses to life, then you are doomed by your genotype, your blueprint. Just because the blueprint says that you can go down the cancer path, heart disease path, high cholesterol path, or whatever, doesn't mean you have to. If I know that's a dangerous alley over there, I'm not going down that alley. Probably will do whatever I need to do to never go down that alley in any circumstance. We learn the terrain. So I always joke around with people, I can build a health plan around the Wizard of Oz. I know how to navigate you down the old yellow brick road. And believe you me, there will be flying monkeys that will try to distract you. There will be Poppy that will try to put you to sleep. There will be wicked witches that will come along and tempt you. But here's the deal. We can, together, find Oz. And I'll even introduce you to him, because there's a curtain. And we can pull the curtain, and we can help you see that it's the man in the mirror. It's you. You're Oz. You can change the game for your health and wellness. How about that for a wellness plan using Wizard of Oz? I just made that up, by the way.
It works.
It changes every time I do it. And so, but here's the fun thing. When you're on the road, you're going to find friendly lions that want to need to be encouraged or need a little courage. You're going to find 10 men that need a little heart, and you might be able to encourage them and give them some of your heart to warm their heart. You're going to find people that you can navigate down the path so that you can live better, be better, and stay better together. Community. It's Hebrews 10, 24, and 25, right? Let us consider one another in order to stir up love and good works, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together, which is the manner of some, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as you see the day approaching. And you get to have fun going down the detox journey, the health and wellness journey. And no matter what your health condition is, a detox is a great first step. I say it's a 3-month plan that will give you results and influence in 21 days. I mean, it's pretty amazing. 21 days worth of work, 3 months worth of result. I think that's a powerful, thought. And I just want people to realize this is what I get excited about. I love talking detox. I love talking about how to take that liver and wring out those toxins, take out the kidneys and push trash through it more effectively, to take out the bowels and to get rid of that excess funk and filth that's bound you up and causing your emotional distress or your high blood pressure or the or skin rashes or the allergies, and to start seeing all that stuff begin to melt away. And it is something that is that easy oftentimes. I notoriously see people, man, I just keep their liver going because the liver is so bogged down and so overworked. Had a guy tell me yesterday, he goes, my wife just showed me a picture of myself a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I am a completely different person. I was bloated. I was full of fluid head to foot. I feel younger. I feel more vibrant. My body's performing better than it ever has. I know I beat it up. I've been on dialysis. I've had, kidney transplant. I've had this. I've had that. But I feel great. My body is performing better right now than it ever has. And that's a testimony. It's a testimony to see people that, like even my kids, willingness at 4.5 to go through, or 4 3/4 to go through a detox program, even for 5 days. And we didn't take her protein away from her because kids need those proteins, but we just cleaned up those proteins. We made sure that she was getting 3 servings of protein a day. We were more intentional. When they'd come to me and they'd be like, I'm hungry, and there's kolaches over there. I want one. I said, go to my bag. I've got food for you. I'm already prepped and ready because I know that you drug yourself out of bed late or whatever. And so, that's what we do as parental influences or tribal leaders to influence our friends and family. I've got a gal who teaches dance, amazing ballerina here in the Houston area, and she has 3 of her friends doing a cleansing program. They're not on the full-out detox, but they're all eating off of our purple or our detox-friendly shopping list, and they are getting great results. And she's excited, and they're excited, and they're doing as a team. So 4 of them now are out there promoting health and wellness and making a difference to all these other little kids that are going through dance school. And I think that's a cool thing. Let food be thy medicine. When you eat well, and you will see that your body will be more energized and more vibrant. And if you don't feel like you're energized and more vibrant, maybe you're going through a detox experience. Maybe you need some coaching. Maybe you need somebody. Maybe the foods that you are eating that you think are healthy are just marketed good food. I mean, I hate to say that good marketing can convince you darn near of anything. And we read in a book just recently, it's easier to fool people into doing what you want them to do than it is to convince them that they're being fooled. And that's a weird thought, because nobody wants to be fooled,
right.
But nobody wants their bias to be altered. But when people start recognizing that if you've got whatever health result that you have, and you are unwilling to change your way of living, aka the recipe, why would you expect anything different? They call that what? Insanity. To do the same thing over and over and over and over and expect something different. We would never expect anything different. If you follow a chocolate chip cookie recipe, you're going to get
Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yes.
No, you're not. You're going to get
delightful.
chocolate chip cookies.
My kids said, that's how it should be in heaven. We should eat cookies, and it should affect us like a Brussels sprout.
But still taste like the cookies, right?
Yeah, of course. But unfortunately, that is not on the Yellow Brick Road plan. You're not going to see it that way. And you're going to when you indulge in those things, you're going to get attacked by those monkeys. You're going to be tempted by the Wicked Witch of the West. And so we got to make sure that we are navigating the terrain well, and you do that with people that have gone before you in order to lay out the straightest, most clear path to help you get to the underlying cause of why your body's breaking down and what things you can do to fix it. And I just get excited about talking wellness. And every month, that we have been doing radio with you guys, we bring a new level of topic to the table. Of course, next month we're going to be getting into what?
So
Heart Month.
Yeah, I just actually asked that on the stream. So if you're watching on Facebook, you're reading the comments. I was like, "What's the February topic?"
Oh,
and you must
look at that.
We're on the same
wavelength
right
look
now.
At that. So, and here's the deal. We always are looking for ways to educate you guys. I love talking about the heart. That's a tender subject for me because I lost a father to heart disease. I just had a good friend of mine lose his brother to heart disease, and so this is an area that is a real situation that occurs to people in their 40s and 50s, and of course younger, but I mean oftentimes in their 40s and 50s, and it can be prevented. There's things that you can do. Part of why we're doing the heart sound testing at our events this evening and all this past month is we want more people to know that there's other ways to evaluate your heart before it is an emergency. And that's what Living Well offers. It's things to do before it is an emergency. And if it is an emergency, we'll talk you off the ledge. We'll get you, into the game and start turning that sail in a better health direction. So we're going to challenge you. We're going to teach you. We're going to give you hope, and we're going to encourage you every step of the way and make sure that you're able to dodge the detox pitfalls and keep your body as clean and healthy and vibrant as possible every step of the way.
Chapa, what's going on tonight? Where can people be?
All right. So again, tonight we are going to be doing our finale on the Ultimate Detox Experience. The whole goal of the Detox Experience is to create community and to give people hope and encouragement going through the program. This is our last class of the Detox Experience. Next month we'll be doing Heart Month back at our office, and then but tonight there's going to be a potluck. Tonight there's going to be vendors. We're going to have our water company there. We're going to have our juice company there. We're going to have our soap company there. Our essential oils are going to be there. We're going to have stats and our heart sound recorder there, and good food. Ooh-wee. We're going to have food that are going to rattle your taste buds, food that are going to make your teeth sweat. You want to be there to indulge, I assure you. And, I mean, can you imagine? Aren't you excited just hearing those
teeth
words?
Teeth sweat?
Yeah.
Sounds
like something that you've never experienced before.
No, I haven't.
And that's what it's going to be like tonight. It's going to be hot. It's going to be good. And we're going to teach you some great information to what you can do and what you can expect after the detox. Make sure that you're prepared for post-detox so that you can make sure you maximize that 3-month, that 4-month, that 5-month influence of good, healthy living so that you can keep your health moving in a direction that you're proud of. So this is Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. My name is Dr. Aaron Chapa. You can visit us at justlivewell.com or call us at 281-554-8600. And remember, guys, all life starts and stops at the cellular level. And nutrition is the fundamental backbone that keeps you moving forward. So we pray that you will continue to make wise choices with the food you eat, the fluids you drink, and the air you breathe. And may you pray well and be well all the days of your life. God bless you. Amen.
This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right, Facebook, again, hit the share button. Let us know, are you going to be at the event tonight? It's at Butler's Courtyard, League City. Y'all be blessed.